Welcome. Today we're going to be talking about place values, and we're going to be talking about this place value chart that we have right here. And so the very first thing that I want to focus on is this keyword right here, and. And so when we see that word and, we know that and means decimal when we're talking about math. And so the word form for decimal is the word and. Remember that. Now the next thing I want to talk about is tenths. And I want to talk about tenths as a fraction to start off. So when we have 1/10, that's 1 out of 10 pieces. If we have 1/10 of a dollar, that's like a dime. And so I like to relate tenths, the decimal form, as money, which is dimes. And so when we see tenths, I want you to think of dimes. And we know that 10 dimes equal $1. The next thing I want to talk about is hundredths. Now, tenths are dimes, hundredths, let's relate to pennies. And so if we have 100 pennies, that equals $1. So this very first one, we could say that this is $3.25. So that's 3 and 25 hundredths. And you notice that I just read it like normal, 25, and then I read what place value it's in, the last place value, which is hundredths. So we say that's 25 hundredths. The next thing we're going to talk about is thousandths. Thousandths come after hundredths. So the major difference between the right side of the place value chart and the left side is left side has ones, and then we don't have anything called once. So we just start off with tenths. So that's the main difference. After that, it's pretty much the exact same thing as we get up higher on this side. If you see from on this side, we go from tens, hundreds, thousands, 10,000. Same thing right here. Tenths, hundreds, thousands, 10,000s. And then we have, like I said before, 10,000s. On the opposite side, we have ones, tens, hundreds, thousands, 10,000s. Now let's go ahead and read this number right here. So we have 145 and 1,068 10,000s. So we just read it like a normal number, 1,068, and then we say what place value the last number's in, 10,000s. Let's try this last one. I'll go ahead and let you try it for a second. You should have said 24 and 79. What place value is it in? Thousands. So 24 and 79 thousandths. Now this next page that we're going to talk about is the actual worksheet. And so we have the worksheet, and this is the top half of that worksheet. And so I'm going to talk about the very first part of it. We're going to jump right here to this section 1. And in section 1 it says give the value of the digit 3 in each number. So let's underline 3. There's 3. And what place value is 3 in? Well, it's in the 10th spot, so we're going to write 3/10. Once we have that, we're going to go find it over here. There's 3/10 for us, and let's go ahead and cross that out. Now to help me remember, I'm going to write 13 right next to the letter U. So we have 13 and U right over here. That'll help me when I go to put it in the answer column on the next page, on the bottom of the page. The next one, let's go ahead and underline the next one, the 3 right there at the end. And that's in, well, let's check it out. We have tenths, hundredths, thousands, so that's going to be 3,000ths. We come over here and find 3,000ths, which is 26. Let's cross that out. And I'm going to write 26 next to the letter S. Now, that's basically what we're going to be doing in these 3 sections. Is we're going to find the 3, and this next section we'll find the 8, and then the 5. It's the same thing for the back side of the worksheet. Now, I'm going to go ahead and put those answers in the bottom of the worksheet. And so we had 13 was U, and we also had 26 was S. And that's how you put it in. That's how you fill it in the bottom. And it's going to answer that riddle at the top. Now, the next thing we're going to talk about is writing the decimal. So we'll write the decimal, and so we want to write it in number form. So we have 27 and 4/10. So I'm going to write 27 and 4/10. That one's pretty easy because tenths is the very first one after the decimal. I come over here and find 27 and 4/10, and I cross that out, which is number 18. I put 18 over here by O, and then I'm going to put 18 in the bottom down here. Now this next one, we have 2 and 74 hundredths. Now I'm going to take this a little bit slower, so we're going to write 2, and then I'm going to put 2 spots. I put one spot for tenths and one spot for hundredths. And when I do that, that gives me a chance to work backwards. So 74 backwards, I put 4 and then 7. And so I have 2 and 74 hundredths. So when you do it that way, you're able to set it up right. And so we find that over here in number 1. We cross it out, and we're going to put the letter Y in box number 1. So this is a quick little lesson. It shows you how to write and read decimals in their respective place values. I hope you've enjoyed this lesson. This is another lesson brought to you by Mr. Eves.